Spain is one of the most visited countries in the world. Every year, millions of people travel there looking for sunshine, beautiful architecture, incredible food, and a chance to relax. Yet many people return from vacation feeling strangely exhausted. Their trip looked perfect on paper. They visited famous landmarks, explored beautiful cities, stayed in highly rated hotels, and filled their days with memorable experiences. But within a few days of returning home, they feel depleted instead of restored. For many ADHD brains and sensitive nervous systems, the problem is that relaxation and recovery are not the same thing. A destination can be beautiful and still be exhausting. It can be exciting and still overload the brain. Crowded streets, constant noise, visual clutter, traffic, packed restaurants, busy hotels, and the endless decisions involved in travel all require cognitive energy. And if your brain is already processing more information than average, the wrong destination can quietly drain you without you ever realizing why. But some places have the opposite effect. Some cities seem to lower the volume. They create space instead of pressure. They reduce sensory load instead of increasing it. They allow the nervous system to stop scanning, filtering, and adapting every second of the day. And when that happens, travel becomes something different. It becomes recovery. Today we're exploring 5 of the calmest cities in Spain for ADHD brains, highly sensitive people, and anyone whose nervous system is tired of living in a world that never seems to slow down. And surprisingly, some of Spain's most famous destinations didn't make the list. Most travel guides focus on attractions. What should you see? What should you do? Which landmarks are worth visiting? But ADHD brains often experience places differently. A destination is not simply a collection of attractions. It is an environment, and environments influence the nervous system in powerful ways. The amount of noise you hear throughout the day matters. The pace at which people move matters. The density of buildings matters. The presence of nature matters. The amount of visual information your brain has to process matters. Even the quality of light can influence how calm or overstimulated you feel. Most people never consciously think about these factors, yet their nervous system responds to them every moment. Many women discover this after 40. Places that once felt exciting suddenly feel overwhelming. Crowded destinations become less appealing. Quiet destinations become more attractive. This is not a sign that you're becoming boring or getting older. It is often a sign that you are becoming more aware of what your nervous system actually needs. And once you start paying attention to that, the way you travel changes completely. Let's begin with number 5. Number 5, Girona. Girona is often described as the calmer alternative to Barcelona, and for many sensitive travelers, that description is surprisingly accurate. Barcelona is undeniably beautiful, but it is also a city that demands attention. There is traffic everywhere, crowds filling the streets, endless visual stimulation, and a pace that rarely slows down. Girona offers many of the same cultural and architectural qualities while dramatically reducing the sensory load. The historic center feels human-sized. You can walk through medieval streets without constantly navigating crowds. The architecture is visually coherent, with stone buildings, historic bridges, and narrow streets creating a sense of order rather than chaos. One of the reasons some environments feel calming is because the brain does not have to continuously sort through competing visual information. Girona naturally provides that experience. For ADHD brains, attentional fatigue is a real phenomenon. Every day, your brain is deciding what deserves attention and what can be ignored. The more inputs there are, the harder your brain has to work. Girona reduces that workload. The result is often a feeling of calm that visitors struggle to explain. They simply know they feel better there. In many cases, the answer isn't psychological at all. It's environmental. The city itself is demanding less from the nervous system. Number 4. Santander. If you've only experienced southern Spain, Santander may come as a surprise. Located on Spain's northern coast, it feels completely different from the image many people have of the country. The landscape is greener, the temperatures are softer, and the atmosphere is noticeably calmer. There is less intensity and more breathing room. One of the most powerful yet underestimated nervous system regulators is water. Research into attention restoration theory suggests that natural environments help restore the brain's ability to focus by reducing mental fatigue. Instead of forcing concentration, nature gently captures attention. The movement of waves, changing light, distant horizons, and natural sounds allow the brain to engage without effort. Santander offers this almost everywhere. The city feels spacious. There are beaches, parks, coastal promenades, and open views that prevent the feeling of visual compression many people experience in large urban centers. A nervous system surrounded by openness often becomes less vigilant. There is less need to scan constantly, less need to monitor every detail, and less pressure to stay alert. Many people describe feeling calmer near the ocean. Santander provides exactly that experience while maintaining the convenience of a city. Number 3. Santiago de Compostela. Santiago de Compostela is unlike any other destination on this list. It is not famous for beaches, nightlife, or luxury tourism. Instead, it is known as the destination of the Camino de Santiago, one of the most famous pilgrimage routes in the world. And perhaps because of that history, the city possesses a completely different energy. Thousands of people arrive here after walking for weeks. The atmosphere feels reflective rather than stimulating. The pace is slower. The streets are largely pedestrian-friendly. The architecture creates a remarkable sense of visual coherence. Stone buildings, historic squares, and centuries-old streets give the city a feeling of permanence that many modern destinations lack. For ADHD adults, modern life often feels like a constant demand for attention. Every app, notification, advertisement, and crowded environment is competing for mental resources. Santiago feels like the opposite of that. There is less urgency, less pressure, less noise. The city seems to invite you to slow down rather than speed up. Many travelers come expecting a beautiful historic city and leave feeling unexpectedly grounded. The reason may be that Santiago offers something increasingly rare in modern life: enough quiet for your mind to hear itself again. Number 2. Oviedo. If there is one city on this list that deserves far more recognition, it is Oviedo. Located in Asturias, Oviedo rarely appears on mainstream travel itineraries, yet it consistently stands out as one of the most pleasant and comfortable cities in Spain. The first thing many visitors notice is how orderly everything feels. The streets are clean, the city is walkable, green spaces are integrated naturally throughout the urban environment. There is very little sensory chaos. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels overwhelming. The city seems designed around human comfort rather than constant stimulation. One of the hidden energy drains for ADHD brains is continuous adaptation. Every crowded train station, every loud restaurant, every confusing street layout, and every unexpected change requires cognitive effort. The brain is constantly adjusting. That adjustment consumes energy whether you notice it or not. Oviedo reduces the need for adaptation. The environment feels predictable and easy to navigate. When the brain no longer needs to remain on high alert, it can redirect energy toward recovery. This is one reason some places feel surprisingly therapeutic. They are not exciting in the traditional sense. They simply stop demanding so much from the nervous system. For many sensitive travelers, that feeling is worth far more than any famous attraction. Number 1. Cadiz. If your primary goal is nervous system recovery, Cadiz may be one of the strongest destinations in Spain. In many ways, it represents everything that makes an environment supportive for ADHD brains and sensitive nervous systems. The city is surrounded by water, creating a constant sense of openness. Wherever you walk, the horizon is never far away. The historic center is beautiful without feeling overwhelming. The architecture reflects light softly, creating a visual atmosphere that feels bright yet calming. The pace of life is noticeably slower than in many larger Spanish cities. What makes Cádiz particularly powerful is the feeling of spaciousness. Many ADHD adults spend much of their lives unconsciously monitoring their environment. The brain is constantly scanning for information, filtering distractions, anticipating changes, and responding to sensory input. This process requires enormous amounts of energy. When an environment feels safe, predictable, and spacious, much of that monitoring begins to relax. The nervous system becomes less defensive, less vigilant, less overloaded. Recovery can finally begin. That doesn't mean life suddenly becomes stress-free, but it does mean the brain no longer has to work quite so hard simply to exist in the environment around it. And for many people, that is what true restoration feels like. Cádiz is not trying to impress you every second. It isn't demanding your attention. It isn't competing for your focus. It simply allows you to breathe. And sometimes that is exactly what an exhausted nervous system needs. The travel industry often encourages us to chase more destinations, more attractions, more experiences, more activity. But many ADHD brains do not need more. They need better environments, better rhythms, better matches between the nervous system and the places we choose to spend our time. Sometimes the most restorative destination is not the most famous one. It is the place where your brain finally stops fighting the environment around it. It is the place where your attention can soften, your body can relax, and your nervous system can remember what calm actually feels like. Travel can be much more than entertainment. It can be a tool for recovery. It can be a way of designing experiences that support rather than deplete your energy. And once you understand how environments affect the brain, you'll never choose destinations in quite the same way again. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to Complex Brain Living. Every Wednesday and Sunday, we explore ADHD, nervous system health, longevity, and calm travel for complex minds. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Which place has made you feel the calmest and most restored? Let us know below. Until next time, take care of your brain, and thank you for watching.